All right, so what I'm going to be doing here is testing two products. And the first product is actually, I can't remember if it's 511 Impregnate or whatever it is, the sealer that I usually use, they were out of. So I picked up this cleaner slash sealer, and that's what I'm testing. And I'm using just a brass tip brush going over the grout lines. We'll be doing the countertops today. We're going to clean and seal, and then we're going to do the kitchen and the dining room floors, all the tile. But I'll show you here. I'm just going to wipe this section out. You can see the dirt transferring onto the rag. But I don't think this is going to be the best cleaner. It does do a decent job. You can see, I'll zoom in. It's still got some of that dirt in there. So what I'm going to do is the next product I'm trying is I put Go Oxy, which is about a 15% peroxide. So Go Oxy and Simply Citrus in this trigger sprayer. So that's like an orange oil. So we're using peroxide and orange oil. And already I can see it's starting to foam up. Just wipe out this dishwasher area. But anyway, you'll see this ends up being the product of choice. We'll end up using both. We're going to clean all the grout lines with the peroxide. I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness. The power of peroxide and the degreasing ability of orange D-limonene or orange oil, Simply Citrus. I'll leave a link in the description for where I get all my products. Look at that. Oh my, you spray it and it's still foam. It's just eating the dirt right off the surface. So there you go. That is the Go Oxy with the Simply Citrus. Going to be mixing up more of that. The other one is here. I'll zoom in on it. It's a cleaner resealer. And it's actually a really good product as far as sealing. I tested it on another location that I was at. I just sprayed it and cleaned it. And then we did all the carpets in the house and let it dry. Came back and I sprayed a little water on the grout lines. It was bigger grout lines than this. And it repelled the water. So, probably not as good as the Impregnate, but anyway, it is a good product. Very simple to use. You spray it on and mop it off with a flat mop, or you can use microfiber rags like we're doing here. So it's always good to test before you go right into your cleaning. So we'll give it a good test here. The tools that we'll be using today, apart from the cleaners, is going to be microfiber pads or microfiber cloths and these cotton dish towels or rags. And we're going to use you can see that's much better. And the grout's still damp, so when that dries, it'll really lighten up. We'll work on that. That was just a little test. But you could see the difference there versus the top where we haven't hit yet. And this one. There versus the top. You can see the difference. So both products are doing a decent job, but I think the peroxide, given more time and a little more agitation, will obviously do the job. So let's see what we got. This is some older stuff. I don't know if it's from the 80s, the countertops. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray down, mist down all the countertops. And let that stuff do its work. You can see it foaming up there on the right side already again. So the magic is in that peroxide. And then what that peroxide does, the Go Oxy, is it carries the degreaser, the orange oil, into the grout lines to release and emulsify the soil. Now on a countertop like this, the grout lines are not deep enough to where you have to use a vacuum to suck off the slurry. You can actually use that microfiber cloth to wipe everything out. We are going to, look at that, oh my goodness. We are going to use a steamer as well. So we are going to spray this down. We're going to do all the grout lines with the brass brush. And then we're going to use a scour pad to go over the surface. And then an additional hand brush to continue to loosen everything up. Here's all the products on the right there. I'll show you in a minute. And then we'll come back after all of that hand cleaning is done. And we'll use a steamer. We'll steam out all the grout lines. And then we'll wipe it clean with the damp cloth. And then we will use the sealer, the cleaner sealer, after we're completely done and everything's all mopped up. And then we'll use the sealer. We'll spray that down, and we will use a cloth, a clean cloth, and go over the surface, leaving that sealer down in those grout lines there as far as we can. And it should come out beautiful. We're also doing the kitchen floors, the dining room, little entry, and I'll show you that in the second video. And that's where you have to use the shop vac or an extractor once you get the slurry built up, and you use a hand grout tool, or it's on a pole, a grout brush, as well as the swirly machine, and you go over everything. Then you want to suck the slurry out, because just pushing it around with a mop drops all that dirty water right back into the grout lines, and now you're basically back where you started. And that's the big problem with the day-to-day people that do their own cleaning. They're using a mop or a flat mop or spin mop, and you have to, if you have deep grout lines like the floors here, you have to agitate it all up, get the slurry going, add a little water if you have to, and then suck it up with a shop vac. Then you can use a mop. So you'll see that here in a minute, but here we go. We got it good and sprayed. He's working on it over here. Look at that foaming action. And the dirt that we already got out is starting just to be activated. So he'll work that side.
All the way across one.
I'll work this side, going like across.
All the way down.
Back and forth, and then we go side to side. I can end up walking around to the other side of the counter so I can get to that a little easier. You could see we're just breaking up the soil. You don't want to scrub too hard with a brass brush, and you don't want to use a metal brush. Brass is going to be softer, but you don't want to remove the grout. You just want to get down in the groove and get it clean. And then as far as the tile tops go, we'll be scrubbing that down, like I said, with a scouring pad. You'll see that. I'll show it all to you. And the countertops I don't get a whole lot of countertops. I've done a few showers, a few countertops, a few, tile, grout, wood. Typically, I've always done just carpet for primarily, 90% of what I do, but we're trying to expand a little bit. And so when we do households and we go in and do the carpets, we kind of take a look around while we're in the home, and then write up an estimate and leave that with the customer. Let them know, hey, these are some other services that we offer. If you're interested in your countertops, here's a price. If you're interested in your recliner being cleaned, here's a price. If you're interested in your floors, wood floors, tile, laminate, whatever it is, we do it. We can do your concrete, garage floors, whatnot. So it's just additional income. And if you're in the business, you probably are realizing, just like I am, I've been in the business for quite a while. Switched over to low moisture cleaning the past several years, and I do enjoy it. There is a time and place for traditional steam cleaning, truck mount, or a good portable machine. And when you don't have those capabilities, I'm not running a hose from a expensive machine out in the van that is going to really heat up the water, lots of pressure. Bring a spinner in and do tile that way. That would make life a lot easier in some cases. However, when you're on the scale of cleaning and you don't have that high heat and that high power, then you have to increase other areas, which is agitation and time, dwell time sometimes, and more product a lot of times, or innovative products. I remember years ago, I used to come in and I could use just the heat from the truck mount in a spinner and spray down hot water, pre-spray some hot water along with, a couple drops of Dawn dish soap. And I mean, the tile and grout would come beautiful that way. So you wouldn't be able to do it this way with that method because you're lacking that high pressure, high heat. And so you get the idea. You got to work a little harder, but you're going to get good results. Now, I know there's going to be some people out there that watch my videos and they're going to disagree with the way I'm doing the countertops, or they're going to disagree with what I'm using. They have better ideas. You should have done this. You should have done that. Hey, if you're polite in the comments, I'm always open to some good ideas. Not that I'm not going to make any major changes to my system. And again, I'm supplementing here from the carpet cleaning. Like I was saying, over the last few years, last 8 years, I used to go into even my regular clients. I have people that are on a yearly maintenance. So every year they just say, hey, move me forward a year. And I've noticed that I used to go in and do living room, family room, office, hallway, staircase, loft area, another hallway, and then all the bedrooms, closets. Some of those places, the bathrooms had carpet. Now I go back to those same houses, though the house is now probably, I'd say maybe 30% wood, 30% tile, and probably 50% wood. So what's that, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then 20% carpet, which would just be the bedrooms. And I've even seen where, closets, sometimes they just put in the wood in the closets. They don't have carpet anymore in there. So it's a diminishing factor when it comes to how we do business. Here's the scouring pad. Just going over that, getting the surface of the tiles nice and scrubbed clean with the solution. Circular motions, whatever I want to do. I'm doing all the additional steps to get this as clean as possible using the method I'm using. So anyway, but back to the supplementing, and you have to do what you have to do when things start changing, or you'll get left behind. I know a lot of guys that stop doing carpet altogether, and they're strictly doing tile and grout, tile and grout specialist, or area rugs, open to rug spa, area rugs only, or they're doing hardwood floor, what do they call it, a screen and recoat, or some of them go deeper and they're into the sanding business. So the industry's changing. I think there'll always be a place for carpet, and it could come back a little bit more frequent in the homes, depending on how the family situations are. Usually when there's kids, kids play on the carpet. They don't want to be playing on wood floor or tile because, that doesn't feel too good.
Back behind there, yeah.
So there is a place for it, but right now you can see things are changing. You can see this house here. It's even the older style house, the dining room, kitchen, countertops, and then throughout the middle of the house now, the whole center of the house, which used to be carpet, they put wood floor down, or luxury vinyl plank, I should say. And then the bedrooms have carpet. So you need to adapt. So if you're a professional tile and grout or countertop cleaner and you see this and you're offended, I'm sorry. I don't claim to be, the most professional at countertops. I know the basics after 30 years. Most of us that have been in the business for 15, 20 years, we can look at pretty much anything and know the general cleaning ideas, what not to do and what to do, what chemicals to use, and how to be careful with what you're doing. So hopefully I'm not offending anybody. And like I said, if you're friendly and you leave a decent comment and understand what I'm doing, and you'll see the results come out great. Big thing is my customers are very happy. I always set the expectations up front and no problems. But if you're courteous and you say, hey, you should try this, or I use this product and this works fantastic, I'm open. Like I said, we're leaving estimates and we'll be doing a lot more stuff like this in the future. So help your boy out. So here you go. We'll go over it one more time, wipe it down.
Yeah, get that back there, that grout.
And a lot of time on tile, back in the mid 90s, I had a guy that worked for me. I was out in Las Vegas, Nevada. My company name was Champion Carpet Cleaning. And we were located in North Las Vegas at the time. And he came to work for me, and he had done tile and grout, and he insisted that you need to not use equipment, that you needed to get knee pads and get on your hands and knees and just go to town. And I will say there's a place for that. There's probably some people that still do that, and I would have to charge a lot of money for it, but he would go and he would strip floors, start in one corner, do like 4 or 5 squares at a time, by hand, and then he'd come back, clean it, use the brushes, grout brushes, and scouring pads, scrub it all beautiful, and then that section take the sealer and just recoat it with a clean cloth, going in the motion. I can't remember what the motion was, but he had a motion where the way that he did it, I don't know if it was 45-degree angle or back and forth or figure 8 or whatever it was, he would apply the finish, and when he was done, and these were in between jobs, rare that I did them, but since he knew what he was doing, he wanted to go ahead and do that. So there is a place for that 100% by hand, and people will pay for that. But look at the results we're getting. Not even done yet. Come on, Polly, wrap it up. Collect your money and go. Nope. We're going to take the steamer and we're going to steam these grout lines out. Like I said, when you take away one of the elements, be it the pressure, the heat, the dwell time, whatever you're taking away, you need to add something in its place, or not add, but increase it. So your agitation will increase here. You saw the different methods. We used the brass brush, the scouring pad, the regular brush, the microfiber pad, and then we're going to go through and steam it. So those of you that are in the business and understand, I can't remember years ago the IICRC had a chart or a pie chart, and it would break it all down, and it was something to do with your time, your agitation, your chemical, your heat, your,
Get back there.
you know, if it would tell you if you don't have heat, then you take that off the pie. Now you need to increase somewhere else. So that's what you're witnessing. But these are coming out really, really nice. I'm going to make sure I get all these areas. And again, it's taking me a little bit longer than what you could do if you had different equipment that you could come in with. I've seen guys come in with a little handheld spinner, I think it is, and do showers and stuff like that and just spray it down and hit the spinner with it, and they're in and out in a flash. And hey, more power to you. I love you. Don't hate me. I'm gonna work hard to beat you. Trust me, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And I'll charge accordingly. A lot of times, you know, I'm not the cheapest, I'm not the most expensive, but you know, even on a process like this where it's gonna take me a lot longer and I'm gonna do a few more steps, then I'll charge appropriately, but not, excuse me, not overboard. So here's the steamer. I'll show you the name of it. Maybe I'll put a link. Got this on Amazon. It's got all kinds of attachments. I don't think it was more than about $59-$60, something like that. Wait till you see, this thing just runs for a long time on a little bit. You can put 280 milliliters in there. And that cap, you kind of have to push it down, lock it on. It's got a pop cap. And then get it off, fill it up. And then I'll show you, there's a little red light that will come on. You have to kind of wait for the red light to come off. When it comes off, I don't think I had to let it recharge or refill at all doing this whole countertop. Here's the fill cup and the funnel that it comes with. There's a couple extra pieces that I put in there, tips that you could use. But it says 150 milliliters on the cup, and the max is 280 milliliters. So I usually do, you know, if you put 2 full cups, you just put 300 milliliters. That's 20 milliliters too much. So check it out. We'll let the hot steam do the work. Now, I know there's a lot of people that will say, wow, why did you scrub? Why did you do it? Why did you use chemicals? Why didn't you just do a chemical-free cleaning, which you could do, 100% chemical-free. You can see this is still breaking down the dirt. So there's dirt left in there, and that's where the heat comes in. Remember, I said if you're eliminating one process or one part of the pie, we were eliminating the heat, then, you know, you have to increase, obviously, agitation. But now we're doing straight heat, straight steam. This thing is working amazing. You want to be careful you don't burn yourself. And the end of it is at an angle so that you don't have to tip the pot all the way forward and have water pouring out of it. You just want steam coming out. I do have an attachment hose that can go on this, and I could get a longer, what do you call it? A longer, oh gosh, can't think of it, not stent, but a longer end that would reach down to the flooring if I decided to do that. But there's a couple good machines. I think the McCall, is it a McCall? A Dupree, and there's one other one that I was looking at if I ever needed it for the floors. But the grout lines on flooring is usually, I don't know, what are they, 1/8, 1/2, and then if you got Saltillo Mexican tiles where you have the kind of irregular edging on it, it could be a wider grout line, not always uniform. So in cases like that, I can always get the chemical in the cleaner in the grout line, and I can always get the grout brush in there and scrub. So, and you'll see how these tiles come out on the floor when I'm done doing this. I'll probably post that in another video. Kind of late today, we had a few jobs, and then this was the second job of the day by 11 o'clock. And then starting to get estimates, which is interesting. Normally I do estimates over the phone, but I've been hitting different areas. During the slower January, we take business cards if we just have one or two jobs, and then we look on Google Maps, or my son looks on Google Maps and finds local businesses, commercial businesses that are within about a 5-mile radius of where the job we were last at. And we hit those businesses with business cards, introduce ourselves, offer a free demo or a free estimate. And we've been really good. A lot of people haven't had time for the demos or us to walk through and do the estimates, but we're getting calls. Already got 3 calls just from the last 2 weeks of doing that. And got a large church, and they had, we had dropped off the business card. They asked us to come measure it out, give them a quote. We did that today. And we also had a truck, used truck sales place that has a indoor showroom that has that flat black, I don't know, it looks like outdoor carpet to me, but it's not. And then all their hallways and 4 or 5 offices in the building, the finance offices and things like that. General manager gave a quote for that, and oh gosh, so you do want to get out there and run your business like a business. I have a good friend who I just had a big conversation about that, and I said, he says, it's slow and I have only 1 job a day. And I said, so what are you doing? You sleeping in? Are you going to that job and then coming home and just watching football? Or what's the routine? What are you doing? And that's the thing. I said, you have to, if you worked for somebody, the luxury of our business is we do have the freedom. I could come out and do my 3 jobs today and go home, be done within 4 or 5 hours. Make plenty of money and then be done with it. But if you wake up and you say, hey, I'm going to work, I used to wake up early. And just a few years ago, I was up crack of dawn, working. Now, trying to slow down a little bit. I'm going to expand and have my son and maybe my son-in-law come out and do the majority of the work, and then they can wake up at the crack of dawn. But anyway, now I kind of say, okay, I'm running a business. I got to work from 9 to 4, period. So if I have my schedule is usually a 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and a 1 p.m., and that's it. So I usually book 3 jobs. And if I only have 1 job, I might book it for 9 or 11. But I don't just sleep in and go do the job. I wake up at 9 o'clock. If I'm not on a job at 9, I'm working on, SEO on my Facebook page, my Instagram page, my Google business page, or I'm studying, sometimes just being in front of a computer and studying, ways to improve your presence, and working on budgeting, working on what chemicals, and watching what people are using, and also watching some YouTube videos, and learning some stuff through that as well, from some of my counterparts, or good groups like Facebook Pad Life. I like to see what people post and what the responses are, and there's a lot of quality vets out there that know what they're doing. And they give some really good advice. So there you could see that steam, just amazing. And what he's doing is I'm having him place that brush onto the cotton pad, and then using the cotton pad to wipe out the areas where we still see some dirt or darker lines. 1 extra step. Oh yeah. So you got to run your business like a business. If you're only waiting for the phone to ring and then jumping in the van and doing the work because, that's what you're doing, then you're not running a business. You're just part-time work. You might be making full-time income, but you're never going to grow. And like I said in the beginning, I have customers that, my schedule's sometimes, 60, 65% booked up for 2024 just on my repeat customers. And then their kids grew up, and now I'm doing their homes. And so over time, you'll get to expand that way, and you won't have to advertise. Here's that grout and tile cleaner and resealer. And like I said, I think it's 511 Impregnate, whatever it's called, is what I usually use to seal. This was on the shelf at Home Depot, and I thought, well, I'll try it. Like I said, I tested it at a previous location. It does repel the water. It cleans very well. Not as good as the Orange Oil or the Simply Citrus and the Go Oxy, but it's a great sealer, and it does clean. Try to zoom in and show you the directions. Very simple. Spray it on, wipe it off. Nothing to it. It seems like a pretty safe product. It's not really volatile or anything. So yeah, check that out if you're do-it-yourself homeowner and you're trying to do your own stuff. Pretty much all the stuff here you could get. You could go on to the links that I provide, pick up this, pick up you a steamer. Probably if I was a homeowner, I'd just buy the steamer and just, chemical free, just steam it. Or spray it with, even 3% hydrogen peroxide you get from Walmart or Walgreens, your drugstore. Costs you about $1 for 32 ounces. Put that 3% peroxide on there, let it sit for a while, and then use your steamer and go right over the grooves, and that'll clean it up fairly well. But you can see, if you want really, really good results, you're going to have to put some elbow grease into it, some time, and get it done right. But this is mainly, the cleaning's done. I'm just doing this because I know it seals, it works. So I'm going to put it on, let it seal,
I finished up to here,
and then go from there. But you could see here, and again, if you're a tile person, remember, it doesn't even say tile and grout on my van, it just says carpet cleaning. But if you are a professional tile and grout person and you do countertops, don't hate at me, help me. Tell me, hey, this is a good idea, or hey, you did a good job there, but here's what I recommend. And I'm open to it. Because like I said, we can learn from each other. And trust me, the next video you see, I may be using a product that you recommended.
On the edge.
And that would be cool. And if it makes the work and the job easier and the tools that you recommend easier, then hey, we can do that. All right, you can see I piled some stuff on the stove there. I do have my work sprayer. That's going to be for the floors. And those tiles on the floors, when I show you that video, I couldn't tell if those were clay in the center. Like, it looks like the regular tiles are just like maybe a porcelain tile. Maybe it's been in the kiln and it's got a light glaze on it. I'm not sure, but it also, the little inlay that they put in there, I thought, well, is this saltillo or what is this? Just Mexican tile? But the more we do a test on it, you'll see us do that. And I don't think it is. I almost think it's the same tile, just colored. So we'll see. But look at this countertop. My goodness. And I do have people in the industry that I can call on. And look at that. Oh my goodness. So sometimes I'll FaceTime or I'll send a photo and say, hey, what is this? If it's not something I'm, routinely doing, or, they don't have any extra tiles in the garage, there's a science to it, but no one's 100%. You're always going to hear pros, even with fabrics, textiles. they'll say, I'll say this is a nylon, and then I'll get messages and they'll say, no, that's polypropylene, bro, or no, you're mistaken. It's, on location, I do the best to test. I'll do burn tests on fibers. I'll do a small inconspicuous area, usually here, just like you saw me test 2 products on the counter. There's that sealer again. Definitely cleaner resealer. I definitely recommend. Look at the glow. Oh my goodness. I'd pay for that. Oh yeah, beautiful. A lot of my clients are not, sometimes they know, they'll watch videos, and there's a lot of do-it-yourself stuff, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff out there that people tell you how to clean your tile and grout. Like I said, I used to do it years ago with the truck mount, and I would just use like a drop of Dawn dish soap, the blue Dawn dish soap, and with the heat and the spinner and pressure, boom, it'd come out beautiful. But anyway, there's a lot of my clients are not looking to get down on their hands and knees and do tile. They're not looking to spend a couple $1,000s for equipment or chemicals they're only going to use one time. So they would rather just leave it to a professional. Plus, I'm covered with liability insurance up to $2 million. And hey, this job with the countertops and the tiles took me 3.5 hours. There's the steamer, Steamify. It is awesome. I'll try and link that up. But I do appreciate y'all taking the time out of your busy day to watch my videos. And I hope you're learning something. And like I said, I'm not the know-it-all. This is just the way I do it, and I'm happy with the results, as are my customers. And I'm also open to advice. Even though I've been in the business for a very long time, I still can learn something every day. So there you have it, a few more pictures, and we're out the door after we do the tiles. So look for that video coming up here in the near future. Hope you all have a wonderful day.